First of all, a lot of credit to Georgia Tech, man. That's a really good team, really good lineup. Pitching staff did a great job today keeping us off balance. Blakely really mixed it up well. We just didn't quite ever make the adjustment. Felt early we had some chances to get some hits there and drive some runs in and kind of keep it close, keep it a game, and we just didn't come through there with two outs. Those 2 out RBIs that just we've been really good at all year. You just didn't quite get it done today. But too many mistakes. 7 walks, 3 errors. That's not going to beat a good team. So got to play better against that type of team.
Thanks, Coach. We'll now take questions from the media. If you have a question on Zoom, use the raise hand function, but we're going to take questions here first. We'll start down here.
Talk about some of the evolution of the program last year. The second half, you're finding a little bit more of a black hole this year. Your rising sophomores, 3 rising sophomores go 6 for 10, I think, in this game. If you guys were going to get back in this game, I think it was going to be because of those guys kind of setting the tone. You had some chances later after they had gotten on base. What's it kind of meant to kind of, get this evolution in the program and, have these guys, I say rising sophomores, but that's what they are and get to that point.
Those 3 guys, those freshmen, gave us really good at bats today, regardless of how many hits they got. I mean, I'm not sure how. I guess they had 4 hits, you said, but just good at bats and then battled with 2 strikes and did a great job, getting on base. It tells you a little bit about our future, and every year since I've been here, been getting a little better. I think we should be a 2 seed going into next week. We went in last year as a 3 seed, so we're trending in the right direction. Nowhere near where we want to be and where we expected at Miami, but we're definitely getting better and just keep working to get to where we're expected to be.
Alonzo, big day for you with 3 hits, kind of continuing a really big freshman season for you. Talk about your first year here in Miami and the day you had today.
It's been great being here in Miami. Talking about the 3 freshmen, we're all blessed to play behind guys who are really talented and have a lot of history in this game. And I learned a lot from Sosa, and Doobie learns a lot from guys like D-Will, and Gabo gets to be behind Cuvée. So those guys have done a great job with all of us and kind of just mentoring us to kind of help this program be better in the future.
Virginia coach the other day was just talking about Georgia Tech's offense and kind of how it comes at you, all 9 guys. Have you seen an offense like this? He compares it to one of the best decades. Have you seen an offense like this in a long time? Kind of how do you evaluate it?
They don't allow you to make any mistakes. We knew coming in, especially with 2 strikes. I guess they're leading the country in hitting at 2 strikes, but it's not getting little singles here and there. I mean, they're driving the ball, and you make a mistake up in the zone with an off-speed pitch, which Siskart made a couple. They're going to make you pay. So it's a mature lineup. They know exactly what they're trying to do. They're not trying to hit every pitch you throw. They're very selective, and they got power 1 through 9. So it's a very good lineup. I've seen a lot of good ones. This one ranks up there in the top, and it can affect the way you pitch, though. And I think it did a little bit today where we nibbled at times, and just make quality pitches. Good quality pitches is still going to be good hitting.
I have 2 questions kind of related to defense. You've got some really good defenders, but obviously it hasn't quite worked out that way. I mean, what are you guys trying to do to try and kind of mitigate that? Because like I said, you've got guys who are good defenders, but they've kind of made some mistakes here and there. What's the change that's going to happen there?
I talked about it on Thursday a little bit. Those are routine ground balls. I mean, that's all you work on. You don't work on spectacular plays, moving left or right or anything like that. It's routine ground balls that just, whether it's lack of focus, whatever you want to blame it on, we got to make those plays. I mean, that's all we work on is routine ground balls and slow rollers and stuff like that. So you just got to be better.
The other question I had is on the good side. I don't know if I ever remember Alex Sosa playing first base for NC State at all. I know he didn't play there much this year until Brian West went down, but he looked very natural over there. Looks like a natural first baseman. I had to remind myself that he's not. How has he impressed you there?
Well, first of all, he's a guy that, he's a big prospect behind the plate. So the willingness to go over there and buying into being a first baseman at this point in the season in his career, knowing, next level he's going to be a catcher. It tells you a lot about him, and the selflessness, and he's going to come out and do whatever at this point it takes for us to win. It gives us the best chance to win, right? But he played a lot of shortstop growing up, started his high school career as a shortstop, played a little third base. So we knew you can catch a ground ball. Being where you're supposed to be and cut off, positions and things like that. That was the bigger concern. But he's a good enough athlete to play anywhere on the field.
Just kind of a broad question for you guys. Is there anything new that y'all learned about the team this week heading into the NCAA tournament?
Well, when you play like we did today, we're going to lose. And that's not new, right? I mean, it's baseball's baseball. You can't walk 7-8 guys and make 3 errors. And there's a couple other plays that weren't errors. Grumbo to Milano that Burris beat out, and I guess the back end of a double play. They don't go down as errors, but we got to be better.
Okay, we're going to take our first question from Zoom. Christopher Stout, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I was curious about your message to the team after the game, either summing up this tournament, looking forward, just what was your message to the guys afterwards?
Really haven't got together yet. We'll get back together when we get to the hotel and talk a little bit about what transpired today and hopefully get it out of our system, because next week, the season's over. It's not, another chance tomorrow. So that's something we talked about coming into this, right, is understanding what a loss at this point of the season means. It's kind of a practice run this week. We lose, we're out of a tournament, but we got a chance to dress out and compete next weekend. Next weekend we lose and then season's over. And for some guys, their career's over. So again, learning lesson, right? We can't take anything for granted. We got to show up. We got to be ready to go for 9 innings every game.